Hello everyone. Today we are showing you how to make chapter 6 exercise 1 by using SolidWorks, which is this part. So all the geometries they are here. So in order to make this part, we would recommend you to draw this part first, the left part, then you revolve. Okay, then you revolve. Then you create a new surface here, then draw a circle, then extrude. Then draw another circle, extrude. Draw a circle, extrude. And draw a last circle, then extrude until to the surface. So this is what we recommended you. We don't recommend you to draw this shape here, then revolve, because you will have gaps in between. So the gaps here, you will not be able to fill it out until you use another function called convert entities. Okay, so the easiest way is draw this part first, then you revolve, then you make a new surface, reference geometry, the surface, then you extrude, then draw another circle, then extrude, another circle, extrude, another circle, then extrude up to the surface. So this is the steps, and now I'm going to show you a tutorial of how to make the part. So first of all, let's go to SolidWorks and create a new one. Say part and say OK, and make sure the units here is right, is a millimeter. Then first of all, we are going to create a sketch of this part, and after you create, your sketch should be look like this. Okay, should be look like this. And now we are going to make this part. Okay, so what you can do is just draw the contours here. Okay, so all the contours, then you start dimensioning. Okay, and I would put the origin here, but it's up to you. So I would put the origin here, that is landed up at the bottom, and make a space in between, because the center there vacuum, so I don't want to line it up right on the center line. So now we are going to make that. Okay, so go back to SolidWorks here. So I am going to sketch. So I am going to make on the front plane as well, and it's up to you. You could do side plane as well. So first of all, I am going to make the contour of that part. And first of all, I probably want to create a center line. Okay, so center line is from the bottom here and to the top. Okay, so that's my center line. Then I'm gonna fit to the screen. Okay, fit to the screen. Then I am going to draw the contour of that part. So first of all, make sure it's landed up at the center line. So I am drawing contours like this, and you could also look at your part and draw the similar contours here, and make sure the horizontal relations shows up, so you don't have to manually adding them in the future. So just draw the contours, and you don't want to pick the center lines here, so just normally draw the contours, because you don't know if that's a center line. If you had that relation, then you would have to delete it later, otherwise it will tell you overdefined or something that you don't want it to handle. Anyway, so draw the contour here. So don't pick the center lines. And here looks about right. And right now, I don't worry about the fillets and the chamfers there. I just draw everything straight line, and I'm going to make chamfers shortly. So I don't want to, again, I don't want to pick them up as lined up, because they may not really are. So just draw the contours here, about this, and going right, then go all the way down, I think. Yes, go all the way down. So connect those 2 points. Now I have the contours here. Now I'm going to put all dimensions on. Okay, so when put the dimensions, so I would put all those vertical dimensions first. Okay, all those verticals, and pay attention, there's another one here. So some people may say, okay, the height between here and the bottom is missing, so actually it's over here, it's 50. Okay, so it's 50. So I am going to put all those vertical dimensions there. So if I go back to SolidWorks, and the dimension at the bottom, so let me take a look at the bottom dimension. So first of all is this dimension. So let me find out where this dimension is. Oh, it's actually 12. So just assume this is 12. So this is 12. So we assume this is 12 as well. Okay, so put a 12 here. Okay, so let me start to dimension this part. So from here to there is 12. It's actually here, then I'm going to drag it out here. Then I am going to move it to another way. So I could hold a control button and hold the center of the mouse. That's a pan tool. Okay, so once again you hold the control button, hold the center screw of the mouse, so that's a pan tool. Now I have a 12 here. Next dimension I'm going to have is 26. So dimension from here to there, it's 26. And the next one is 46. Okay, so until there it's 46. From here to there, yes, it's 46. Then the next one is 63 from bottom to there. Okay, so go back here from the bottom to here. It says 43. So I put a 63 there. So I put a 63. So now let's find out this dimension. So this is actually 50 if I remember right, because that's this dimension. Okay, 50 there. So I put a 50 from bottom to there. So I say it's a 50. The next one I'm going to look at this dimension. Okay, from there to the bottom. Let's find out. So it's actually 135, and the next step is 150. Okay, 135 and 150. So I go to 135 from here to the bottom. 135. And the next one, which is here, is going to be 150. So I click this line, click the bottom, and it says 150. And now let me save my work a little bit so you don't lose the work at the end. So I just put chapter 6, exercise 1. So I save it. Okay, so we finished. Oh, hold on. Okay, after 150 there, in the next one we are going to go the overall it's 185. Okay, 185. So overall, go back to SolidWorks, smarter dimensioning. From here to overall, it's 185. Now I have all the vertical dimensions. So I need this dimension as well. So it's 12, as I just showed you. So it's 12. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. dimension here says it's 12. Put a 12 there. Okay, and save the work. Now I'm going to put all the horizontal dimensions. So I'm going to extend the center lines first. Then I am going to put all those dimensions. Okay, all those dimensions. So from there to there, 125, 105, 95. So going to make it a little bit smaller, and it's 125 from here to the center. Oh, I go to smarter dimension. From here to the center, it's 125. So I drop it down here. Says 125 divided by 2. Okay, 125 divided by 2. And the next one is 105, which is from here to the center. It says 105 divided by 2. And the next one is 95. So from here to the center, it's 95 divided by 2. And I have that. Then I am going to find out here. So the dimension there, it's 105 as well. So it's 105. Okay, so 105 divided by 2. So from here to there, it's 105 divided by 2. Then I also have the other one, size 150. Okay, 150. So I am going to put 150 from here to there. So it's 150 divided by 2. And it's there. Now I'm trying to find out this dimension. The one after that. So, oh, it's all down here. Okay, so I'm going to put all this whole bunch of dimensions there. So the smaller one, 72, 87, 100, and 130. So I'm going to put a 72 there. So I am going to use pen tool again, control the center of the mouse and move it a little bit up. So I dimension the 72 first, which is from here to the center. So it's 72 divided by 2. Then next one is 87, which is to there. So seems like here. From here to the center, 87 divided by 2. And the next one is 100, which is outer to the center. Okay, so let's look at the relation. Same thing here. So actually I don't recognize this, so I'm going to click this and delete this. And now it's blue. Then I could have put 100 there. So from here to there is 100. So the half of that is going to be 50. And the next step is going to be 130 from the outer to the center. So from here to the center is 130 divided by 2. Now I save the work often, so I still have some blue lines there. So let's take a look from there. So let's take a look at the drawing. So distance from here to the center is actually the diameter of the top. So that if you look at the top view, so it's 190. Okay, 190. And let me dimension from here to the center. Says 190 divided by 2. And the same thing at the top. So I'm going to use pan tool from here to the center. Yeah, it's 190 divided by 2. And only this little part left. So that is actually the thickness. So as you can see, the thickness is 5. Okay, it's 5. So from here to the top, it's 5. Then everything should be good. Okay, so they are all black except the center lines, and we don't worry about the center lines. So let me put the dimensions a little bit better so you can see that. Okay, so there are all dimensions if you wanted to take a look. So these are all the dimensions. And after that, we're finished the sketch part. So they're all closed part, they're all dark part. Now we are going to do revolve. Okay, so I am going to go to features, then go to revolve. And will ask me, yeah, it's a right size. Automatically recognize the line 1 as my center line. So I say yes. So this is my part. And now we are going to make the side. Okay, the side here. So like I said, I'm going to create a new surface. Okay, so the surface I'm going to create is actually 155. So from the center, okay, from the center, I guess I'm going to use the side view, the side plane as my reference, and create another plane that is a parallel with 155 distance. So I am go back here. So I am let's take mouse, put a mouse here. Yeah, it's the right plane. Okay, the right plane. So I create a reference geometry, select the plane, and select the right plane. So you click here because you can't select there. So you click here, and you say right plane. Okay, and make that as a parallel. Okay, so parallel. Or you could do distance. So distance is 155. Okay, distance is a 155. And say okay. So I got a new plane there. And now I'm going to make a circle on that plane for this part. So this is a right view. Okay, so I'm going to make the circle there as the diameter 160. Okay, and after that I'm going to extrude, which is this part. Okay, extrude this part. So the thickness of that part is 12. Okay, so 160 diameter and a 12 thickness. So I go, that's plane, so I probably want to use a right view. Okay, a right view. So I go back to sketch because I'm going to create a sketch. So go into sketch, and I'm going to make a circle there. So the circle, randomly find a point, so line it up with the origin. So make a circle there. It says the dimension diameter is 160. So do 160 there. Then I would need a y dimension there because the x, I probably need an x as well because they're not vertical. So let's find out the y dimension. So it says 100 until the bottom. Okay, 100. So I do smart dimensioning. I do here to there as 100. And also I need to add a vertical relations. Okay, so I add a relation, select the center and the origin, and say they are vertical, and now it's black. And I'm in a good shape. Now I'm going to extrude. Okay, so I'm going to extrude that with the distance 12. Okay, so 12. Then I go to SolidWorks. I do extrusion. So first of all, Oh, it still has a minus sign there. Let me save it first to see if it disappeared. Yeah, it's disappeared. Okay, so just need to save sometimes. So I select the sketch tool, and I go to features. I do extruded. So it's there. The direction is on the other side. So I flip the direction, okay, and say the distance is 12. And say okay. Say okay. And now I have one part. Now I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make this circle with the diameter 80. Okay, so go back to SolidWorks. Go to sketch and make a sketch. Now it asks me to select a plane to start the sketch. So I want to make a sketch on this surface. So I select that surface. Then the sketch 3 is there. So I make a circle. Okay, so the circles, they're actually concentric. Okay, see if I recognize the center. If I can't, that's okay. I will manually add the dimensions. So actually it doesn't recognize, but fine. I am randomly picking a point here and make a circle. And the diameter says that's 80. So I dimension that. Says the diameter is 80. And also those two circles are supposed to be concentric. Okay, so I add relations, select the circle, in the other circle at the top, then I go concentric, then okay, after the concentric, and let's check if it's black or blue. I say okay. Okay, then it's black, then I'm good. Now I'm going to extrude one more time, and I'm making this part. So the length there is 64 minus 12. Okay, 64 minus 12. Then I go back here to, so it's minus sign, so I'm going to save it first, then it will disappear. And I go to features, then extrude, select that. I go 64 minus 12. Look at the direction, so right direction. I'm good, so I say yes. And after that, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to make this circle. Okay, so that circle, let's find out the diameter. So it's 90. So I'm making a 90 diameter. It's a concentric one more time. So I go to sketch. Well, it asks me a plane, so I want to select this plane. And I make a circle on top of that. So it's a concentric was recognized, and then it's disappeared. But anyway, I'm going to make a circle here. Then the diameter is 90. Diameter here says 90. Then make that two concentric as well. So I add a relation. Select the inner one and the one I just made. Says concentric. Say OK. And it should be black. So let's take a look. Yeah, it's black. Now I save the work, so the minus sign will disappear. And my next step is doing extrusion. The extrusion of that part is going to be 80 minus 64. So 80 minus 64 there. I go back to features, so click that. So it's 80 minus 64. The direction looks good. So I say OK. Then I say yes. Then it's good. So as you can see, I still have a little bit part here. Okay, so it's not connected. Okay, so what I really need to do is when I select, I don't give a distance, but I say extrude up to the surface. Okay, up to the surface. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fix that. So I put my mouse here and right click and click the first one. Okay, the first one here. I'm editing that extrusion. So instead of a blend, I'm going to say up to the next. Okay, up to the next. Then it's connected. I say okay. Then now it's the right shape. And after that, I am going to so first of all, I am going to hide this plane. So I left click and I click the eye, so it's disappeared. Then I'm going to make this hole here, okay, and use extruded cut. So the hole there, actually, the diameter is 80. So I am going to make a hole. Go to Sketch and select the surface and do a circle, rotate a little bit, and recognize the center, says it's 80, dimension that it's 80, so I don't think it's actually recognized. Diameter, is that a 60 or 80? Let me double check. Yes, it's 80. Now I'm going to make this two concentric. Add a relation, select this and that, say concentric, say OK. Then it's black, then save the work. So minus sign disappeared. Now I'm going to go back to features and do extruded cut, and it's in the right direction. In there, we probably want to cut until here, the inner. Okay, so we do instead of blend, we don't want to do through all either, because if we do through all, this is what we want, this is what we get. So this is not what we want. So we do up to a surface. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the dimension here, because this is not 80, this is 60, because the outer here is 80, as you can see. So the inner can be 80, so this is actually 60. Okay, 60. So I'm going to go ahead and change the diameters there. So it's under Sketch 5, and give a dimension as 60. And say OK. Now I'm going to extrude that part. I do extrude cut one more time. And I go to Sketch 5, Features, Extruded Cut. Go inside. And I want to, instead of blend, I want up to surface. Oh, I'm sorry, I want up to, yes, up to a surface. Then it will ask me to pick a surface. Then I am going to pick the surface. And look right to me. Then I say OK. Then take a look at my part. Well, it looks good to me. It has a hole in the center and on the side. So looks good. And as the next, I'm going to put holes on it. Okay, so first I'm going to put the side holes. So I'm going to use hole wizard again. So the diameters, so is small holes. The diameters is 12 of each, 30 degrees. So I'm going to make one and use a circular pattern. So it's 12 and 125 divided by 2 as the radius. So I'm going to make a holes on the side. So I probably want to use the side view. So this one doesn't look right, doesn't look good. So I'm going to rotate a little bit and this is probably a good one that I'm looking for. So this is probably upside down. Let me flip it one more time. So let's see which is top, which is at the bottom. Yeah, that's the bottom. Should be this as the top. Let's double check from the picture. So it's has 2 steps, that's the bottom. Has 2 steps as the bottom, so that's the bottom actually. So, and I am going to make it as a front view first. Then I am going to make as a side view this way. So it's the right side view. Has 2 steps at the bottom, and I'm making holes. I go to Hole Wizard, and I am going to the step. So let's select the third one, and say metric. The size of the hole says 12, so I select the 12 here, and I do have the option. And the rest of them look good to me. Then I am going to use the position and select a surface. So I select the surface instead of doing 3D. So I select the surface, and I make a hole here. And now I'm going to dimension it. So first of all, I give a dimension of the hole. Oh, it's 12 already. So I am going to dimension the distance. Okay, so I give this distance, also the origin. Okay, so the vertical distance there, it's supposed to be 125 divided by 2. 125 divided by 2. Also, I need a horizontal one. Okay, so horizontal one from there to the bottom. So it's probably hard to find. So let me dimension, because that hole is supposed to be at 30 degrees, if you remember. So I move it up a little bit, go out of dimensions, and move it up a little bit, about here. Then I am going to make center lines. So make a center lines from the center to there, and also make another center line from there, so go through the hole, and I dimension that as 30 from here to there, say 30 degrees. Then the distance there is no longer right, so I'm going to delete that and give a distance one more time. So from here to the center, so it's supposed to be 125. So there, 125 divided by 2, that's the distance. After that, the hole is black, so I'm good right now. So I just say OK. Then I got a hole. Then I am going to make linear pattern. So I go to a circular pattern. So I go circular and select the holes here. So I want to select the hole instead of just a circle. So I'll rotate a little bit so I can select the entire holes. Now it's good. So check the equal spacing. Then I say OK. Now I got all holes. Oh, see the holes direction. I should not select all through, right? So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. So I right click that and edit feature, and the holes. So actually I am going to go to the holes and fix that. So I click the edit feature, because when I make holes, so they're not supposed to be blend, so it went all through. So I'm supposed to check the up to surface. So I am going to click the surface. I say OK. Then everything got fixed. Okay. And now I'm going to make a holes on the top plane. Okay, so I'm going to rotate a little bit. So I do here. Then I want to have a front view. So I do a front view. Then I'm going to do a top view. This is on the other side. So the top view. So I rotate a little bit. And I do top view one more time. So this is the top view. Now I am going to make this holes at the top. So as you can see, they are slightly different. So at the top, it's 60 degrees. Okay, so as a solid line. But the bottom is 30 degrees as a dashed line. So I'm going to make the top one first. So I probably make this hole. So it's a 60. So I am making holes again. I do hole wizard. So I select the third one. And the diameter, let's see, it's 15. Okay, so it says 15 right here. So we are making 15th hole. So we don't have a 15 here, as you can see. So what we can do is I show customer sizing. Okay, so custom sizing. So I do 50 here instead of 12. So I put a 50 there. And I do up to surface one more time. So I select a surface. I select the bottom surface. Then I'm selecting positions. So it asks me a surface. So I selected the top surface. And I'm putting a hole there. Right here. Anywhere. Approximate position. Then I'm going to dimension. So I'm putting center line. So from here to verticals, it's hard to say. I'm going to switch to top plane one more time and do a center line. So from the center, so I exit that. So I accidentally put it there. So I do a center line from center. Make sure it's horizontal. And make another center line from the center to the center. Just give a dimension, says it's 60. And give a distance from the center to the center. And the distance says 150 as the diameter, so 150 divided by 2. So it's black right now, and say OK. Say OK of the hole. And it's 12, but actually it's 15. So if you don't believe, we could measure it. So we go to evaluate, go to measure, and measure the diameters there. So it says 15 diameter. So it's here, 15, so it's okay. So we could rename this hole. So we double click one time, click it twice, and say 15 here. So we named the hole. And then we are going to do a circular pattern one more time. So circular pattern. So the direction, we are going to pick the surface. So I could pick that surface. And the body, I select the hole. That's a 6, looks right to me. Say OK. And then I'm going to make the bottom holes. And similar procedure, but it's 30 degrees. So I am going to a bottom view first. And select the hole wizard. And put a hole. So it's a 15th. The show customers 15 millimeters as a diameter as well. So up to the surface. So I am going to select the surface, which is this one. Okay. And now I go to position. I select the surface I want to make a hole, which is this surface. This surface. Now place a hole here. So first of all, let me make sure I'm in the right direction. So I go to a bottom view, and I put my hole here, and dimension that. So I first of all put some center lines from here, so straight. Make sure the horizontal relationship shows up. Then make another one from here to there. Size is 30. So dimension from here to there as 30 degrees. Then I am going to give a dimension to the 2 points. So from here to there, it's 150 divided by 2. So one more time, from here to there, it's 150 divided by 2 as the distance. Then I say OK. Now they're all black. Say OK, and the hole look good to me. Then I am going to use a circular pattern one more time. So select the body, and 6 holes there, and say OK. And I probably want to rename this as 15 as well, because I really added the diameter to 15. Now, save the work. I think we can take a look, see if it looks right. So we could rotate that. So, and compare a little bit. I'm trying to get a good view. So let me go to asymmetric first. And this is the bottom, this is at the top. So the top one is supposed to be 60 degrees, which looks right to me. And if I say bottom, it's supposed to be 30, looks right to me. So this is the shape that I'm looking for. Then I am going to go to a front view, then put in a good view in front one, then asymmetric one, and save the work. That's all we have for today. And thanks for watching. I'll see you for next tutorial. Bye.